Welcome everyone. We're here with Tracy Nichols, Busch, from 1991. Tracy was Vassar's first All-American, two-time national qualifier in cross country. Pretty much anyone who's run cross country at Vassar or knows Ron has probably heard your name, a little bit of the story at least. You're one of his favorite stories. So it's good to have you on here with the Quarterly to catch up.
Thank you for having me.
So, first question. We've had athletes from all on the team from all over the country, from all kinds of different places. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where did you grow up? How did you hear about Vassar, and how did you end up here?
I grew up in a small town in Ohio called Perry. There's no reason why I would have heard about Vassar, except that I really wanted to go to a very good, small liberal arts school. I wanted to be an educated person. And that was pretty unusual in the town where I grew up, where everyone wanted to have a practical degree. Mm-hmm. So my aunt married into the Taft family, and Franny Taft was so my aunt's mother-in-law. And we'd go to her house every year for Thanksgiving. And she had this really kind of rough voice, and she would say to me, how are the grades, Trace? Trace, how's the running, Trace? So she would always try to check in with me, and I didn't know that she had any plans for me or any ideas. But then I went along through school, and I was a really good student and did well with my running and other sports, but mostly running. Mm-hmm. And then she said, have you ever thought about going to Vassar? And I knew, of course, what Vassar was, and I thought, there's no way a poor little church schmuss like me can go to Vassar. So she says, well, why don't you come up with me sometime? So she dragged me to Vassar. We flew into Connecticut, and we drove up, and I stayed with Elizabeth Corbett, and she ran with me. She ran me into the ground. Yeah. And I thought, I love this place. It's beating me up really well. and I went to the library and loved the library. I went to a number of student meetings, loved it. I fell in love with Vassar on that one visit. And I applied, and I never in a million years thought that I would actually get in. But I just didn't know who I was. Nobody from my little town had ever gone to a East Coast school before. I was the first one. I like to joke that they just threw me over the Appalachians and doing an experiment to see what would happen. Somebody, actually went to a really good liberal arts school. Yeah. So that's the story. I was dragged there, kicking and screaming, and fell in love with it. But not really kicking and screaming.
Yeah.
And this is
and
Kira,
who's this?
my daughter Kira.
Hey, Kira.
Who visited Vassar herself this is our 25th reunion last year.
We remember.
And she came, and she was very interested in exploring all around campus and finding all of Mama's running trails.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Now, you have to remind me, is she the 5K runner or the 800 runner?
She is going to be your 800 runner.
Okay.
Tracy's already got him pegged.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is. The other one's going to be distance 5K probably.
Okay.
Maybe longer. She might be more of a marathoner.
Ooh, we're going to be watching you, Kira. All right. So, Tracy, what did you major in at Vassar? And kind of where are you now, and how did you get there? So, what was your major? Where are you now, and how did you get there?
Okay. I majored in history because, as I said before, I wanted to become an intellectual. I wanted to be an educated person. And I wanted to major in absolutely everything, and the best discipline I could find that included all the other disciplines. So the umbrella discipline for me was history, because in order to be a good historian, you have to know science, you have to know religion, psychology, philosophy. So I thought that's the biggest thing I can find to major in. So that's what I chose. Excellent. And where has it led me? Well, my junior year at Vassar, when it was still the Soviet Union, I went to Moscow. So that was in January 1990, and became utterly fascinated with its history and its culture, its suffering. As a cross-country runner, I could certainly understand that. And that became my callings to become a Russianist. Mm-hmm. So after I graduated, I got my PhD in Russian history, and I'm teaching Rise of the Russian Empire this semester. So you could say that everything I did at Vassar put me on a trajectory that I'm still on today.
And where are you teaching now?
I teach at Ferris State University in Big Rapids, Michigan.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
We live in Reed City. Yeah, we live on a farm in Reed City. Sure is absolutely right.
Very nice.
I'm jealous.
Yeah.
And you would like, we just created shirts, and on the back of them we have Suffer Well. So I think,
good.
yeah,
Yes.
enjoy the process, right? So.
Okay, so switching gears a little bit. The great patriarch of Vassar Cross Country, Ron Stonich. Give us your favorite Ron story.
Oh, well. Oh, okay. There's a number of good Ron stories. I think the one that shocked even me, because, as I told you, I was a little church mouse raised by a single mother. So I really believed in saving money. But there was this one time when we went to, I think it was Pizza Hut, and we, of course, we're trying to get all carved up before the race the next day, but we ordered too much pizza. So Ron was trying to get the people at the next table to take all the pizzas we hadn't eaten. And I don't know, it was just one of those moments, where I was rooting for Ron, like, yeah, I hope they just take the pizza because it is a waste of food not to. But I could just tell by their faces they were probably not going to take our pizza. So that one really stuck with me. And of course, always, whenever you go through a toll booth, you know what he says.
People don't know anymore because of Easy Pass. It's killing everyone. But I can say it right with you. This job must really take its toll on you. Gosh, I think Easy Pass has been the bane of Ron's later adult years here.
I know. He must have stopped driving because he can't imagine, driving a van and not having the chance to say that. But I say it in my head every time I go through a toll booth.
Yeah. Well, I can certainly relate to those stories because during my own time running for Ron, there was no Easy Pass. So I have many memories of him rushing to the front of the bus as we came up on a toll to make sure he could stick his head out the bus window and say that. And also, in the 20-plus years I've known Ron, I still have not known him to sit through a dinner actually sitting at the table without getting up and interacting with everyone else in the restaurant.
So, okay. That's
certainly why we love him. So Tracy,
Did he ever try to give pizza to somebody else if he had extra?
Yeah,
Did he ever try that again?
No, I would see him trying to sell the pizza to someone else.
Oh, maybe he was trying to sell it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Get them to bite it and then say, hey, that's our, we're going to charge you some money for it. So, that Long Island guy. So, anyways, Tracy, that was a great story. How about your most memorable running moment at Vassar? What stands out to you?
Yeah, the one that I think is the most funny was when I was running ECACs, and it was the ECAC championship. And I never really finished more than, say, top 10, maybe top 5, top 10 in that race because there are a lot of really strong schools. Well, this one year it was in Tufts, I think, in Boston. Mm-hmm. And I went out, it was a little hot that day, and I have my thing, I don't sweat normally, so I try to take it a little easier when it's a really hot day. And this was a pretty warm day. So I told Ron, it's like, it's not going to be a fast day for me. I'm not going to go out hard. I'm not going to do as well as I usually do. I just kind of wanted to let him know that it wasn't going to be a big day. And he's like, okay. And so, yeah, I just went out and kept a low profile, kept a steady pace. And then all of a sudden, I didn't see anyone else ahead of me. There was no one. I was running side by side with somebody, and I picked up the pace a little bit. I thought, okay, I'm going to go hunt down the next pack and chase them down. And there was no other pack. And then I came up on the motorcycle, at the beginning, the motorcycle that leads the way. And I thought, why? Is there a motorcycle for the second pack, too? Are there two motorcycles here? So I couldn't figure that out. And finally, I came out. He was in the woods and everything. I came out. He's like, Tracy, you're in the lead. I'm like, what? The lead? That's not. So then I got really worried. I'm like, who's on my tail? So I had to kick it in. So that was really a lot of fun to win a race. Not the kind of race I would ever have won normally. But for whatever reason, that year I didn't expect to do very well at all, and I got first place. That was pretty exciting.
Excellent.
So I'd say that's my one of my favorite stories.
Right on.
Yeah, I have some sad ones too, like collapsing before the finish line, trying to qualify for nationals my junior year. That was pretty terrible. Mm-hmm. But I don't want to belabor that.
Yeah.
That was pretty awful.
There's always good and bad, for sure.
Well, and then there's Ron's version of your nationals race, which will live on in infamy for sure.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's another depressing one. Oh, it's awful.
Well, yes and no. It was it all ended well in the end, right?
It did because of Ron. because of him, he wanted me to be vindicated.
Yeah.
And I think it really hurt him to see me crushed like that. They didn't tell us that they had DQ'd me. They called out all the All-American names, and I was not on that list. No, you can't do that. I was not on that list. So I was just crushed when that happened. And I think that's probably when he decided he was going to avenge me.
Uh-huh.
And avenge me he did.
Yeah.
Isn't that not the case?
Yeah.
Well, Ron watches out for those he loves.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what was your perception of Vassar coming in as a freshman, being the little church mouse you describe yourself as? What was your perception of Vassar coming in, and how was that reinforced or altered over your time at Vassar?
I think I felt like I wasn't smart enough, even though I was a little, coming from the Midwest. No one in my family had done that before, gone that far away from home for school. I really wanted to prove myself, and I had a little bit of an inferiority complex, and I worked very hard, and I was already impressed when I came up and was, had the interview and ran with Elizabeth Corbett. I already knew it was going to be, a good experience. Mm-hmm. So, I think that first year, for most people their freshman year, there's a lot of anxiety, nervousness. I remember how everybody was kind of trying to show off to one another, trying to see where they are, in the hierarchy that was emerging. Uh-huh. And very quickly, because Vassar is Vassar, which is, that's just not the way it is. You don't show off at Vassar. It's very déclassé, uncool. Gauche, all those words. Uh-huh. Very quickly, it just became apparent that you just be who you are, and that's the best thing you can do. Stop that. So, and that's just it, and that's why I became even better. Even more my dream school than it had been at first, because I didn't have to prove myself to anybody. I was just myself, and that's what, that's who I should be. So you spend the rest of your college then figuring out who you are, and working on yourself and working on your goals.
Well said.
Yeah. Excellent. Is she bothering you? Should I make her stop?
No. My kids are next door destroying a whiteboard somewhere, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta stop doing that.
We consider ourselves one big family, and it extends all the way through for sure. So, Tracy, if you could sit back in time, go back in time and sit down with your freshman self in the retreat, or in a certain part of campus, what would you say to your freshman self? Kind of looking back at it, what advice would you give your freshman self?
I guess I was so concerned about achieving and being, excellent at everything I did, that sometimes maybe I didn't enjoy the journey as much that first year as I could have and should have. Mm-hmm. So I think I would tell myself to not worry so much about how well I was performing, and to, to just enjoy the journey and pay attention to the ground underneath my feet and how it feels and how the air smells and how the sun feels and all that. And not that I didn't do that, but to focus on that just a little bit more, a little earlier than I did. Yeah. But I think that's just part of growing up, and Vassar is a great place to, reach your full personhood. And I think that's the best thing that can happen.
Yeah, certainly.
At college.
We also got free candy.
How about your how about
reunion? Reunion weekend is free candy.
Oh yeah, reunion is free candy. How about your senior self?
Yeah, she's remembering the reunion. They had candy bowls everywhere.
Oh, right, yeah.
The good thing about a reunion is nobody's really paying attention to you as much when you're a kid.
So you get away with.
You can squirrel away quite a lot of candy.
Yeah, you get the bouncy castle and the candy.
Yeah.
It's actually just all a part of our recruiting methodology here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Well, the girls did a very good impression of Vassar.
Josie, how about your senior self? What would you tell your senior self? What advice would you give your senior self?
Advice? I don't know. I felt like I was in a pretty good position by the time I graduated. I was feeling, like I'd accomplished most everything I wanted to accomplish. I graduated cum laude. I had All-American behind me. With being a senior, junior, then senior on the team, and being captain and running, because that was before we had, full-time coaches like you guys do today, or close to it. I mean, we had to run a lot of the practices, so there's a lot of, mean, Vassar is really good for that. It's very good for kind of empowering and, giving you the chance to become a leader, whatever area you want to become a leader in. So I was feeling pretty good.
Excellent.
When I graduated. I knew things were going to be a little rougher out there in the real world, and I don't know what you can say to any college senior when they graduate to help them for that. It's hard to leave. It's hard to leave the nest and to go out there and have no one care. But, I think the Vassar education is a good thing to have behind you when you go out into that cold, cruel world. But being a runner is, I think, just as important because, it gives you the discipline. It gives you a long view. Okay, this might not be where I want to be now, but I know where I'm going and I'm going to get there.
Mm-hmm.
It helps you to be goal-oriented. I think running reinforces that characteristic that some people have, being goal-oriented. And there's a lot of adversity. There's always a lot of adversity out there. People, one more person, one more college graduate. Who are you? What do you have to offer? Most people aren't saying, hey, come, we want to hear all about all the smart things you have to say. We want to hear about all your ideas, and we'd love to implement them. Mm-hmm. No, that is not going to happen. Yeah. You have to work at it.
Certainly.
So, I knew that those days were coming.
Yeah.
And they did, and there were some rough spots, but that's the way it is for all of us.
And you also had me.
Yep, and then...
Yeah!
Once you get your PhD, you get to have kids.
You also had Alexandra.
Yeah, Alexandra. I defended my dissertation, and the next week I became pregnant with our oldest daughter, Alexandra, who will be your 5K runner.
Yeah.
And then 2.5 years later, we had Kira, will be a sprinter someday, I think. 800-meter runner, I predict. Yeah. I've been predicting it since she was...
since the first time I met her.
James.
Gosh, it was like 8 years ago.
She was little.
Yeah. It's a long time ago. It's like as soon as you can
2.
walk.
No, wait, she was about 2.
Yeah, it was 2 reunions ago.
She picked up one of those kettlebells you had around the track.
Yep, I remember that.
I don't know, the thing was heavy. You're like, whoa. What's that little girl doing picking up a kettlebell?
Kettlebell.
That's a heavy thing.
Yeah.
It's too heavy for little girls. You picked it up.
Not too heavy for you. So, ultimately, if you had to sum up the Vassar experience, what does Vassar mean to you?
What's Vassar mean?
Vassar, where Mama went to college.
And where you got
Vassar
candy.
To me.
Vassar means
not
a good life.
A good life? All right, I'll take that answer.
You get free food.
You get a free room.
You get free candy. Okay, so she's not quite ready for college yet, but give me a few more years.
It's all right.
I think Vassar for me has become the standard because it's very much a matriarchy. The president, when I was there, Fran Ferguson, was a woman. The dean was a woman. So many of my professors were women. Women were in power. Women were in control. They made the decisions. Of course, not only women, but a lot of women were in these positions. And that set a standard in my mind of this is the way the world can be. So when I graduated from Vassar and I went out into the real world and I saw how male-dominated everything still was, I thought, what is wrong with this world? And because I'd been at Vassar...
But then you had me and you're like, this is a good world.
Because I had been at Vassar... Go ahead, go to the bathroom there. Because I had been at Vassar and saw what there could be. That was when I realized I can be an agent for change. So I would say ever since I've been at college, even before, I was a little bit of an activist before. Absolutely was. I had a reputation. My high school cross-country coach called me Save the Whales. That was my nickname, Save the Whales. But afterwards, I became even more determined to make changes. So I've been a bit of an activist since I've graduated and have tried to make change in large ways and small ways. And I credit my Vassar experience for giving me the model for how the world could look and the guts to make those changes, to try to make those changes.
Right on.
Excellent.
So,
how would you, like in like a sentence or two, how would you explain Vassar to someone who never heard of it or didn't know what it was?
I say it's the best place on earth with the best people you could ever know.
That's a good one.
You're going to miss it. You're going to go there and you're going to enjoy it, and when you leave, you're going to miss it.
Yeah, it still holds
So-
true.
I think
For
that's
sure.
a pretty consistent theme we see.
Yeah,
Yeah. I wish the whole world could be like Vassar.
yeah, yes, us too. So
All right.
fun time.
All right.
Our
But
fun-
you're there. So
yeah.
you are.
Our fun rapid fire questions. So
All right,
Oh,
here we
boy.
go.
so just first thing that comes off into your mind, go with it.
Okay. Would you rather swim Sunset Lake or Primal Scream streak the library?
Swim Sunset Lake.
Oof,
Yep.
okay.
All right, favorite spot on campus and why?
Oh, the old cross country trail. So after you go up that steep hill,
Mhm.
and you're running through the woods out back.
Yep.
I love that because whenever I'd run that trail, we'd ran a lot at night. I'm not sure if they still run at night, the students, but I did a lot of night running. And I felt like I was in another time, another place, like a Native American, like I was going back in time. It was very primal. Talk about primal scream.
Yeah,
I didn't primal scream, I primal ran.
yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
love it.
I feel that. Okay. What would you like to see change about the Vassar you know? And what would you want to be sure always stayed the same?
The Vassar I know. Well, it seems like lately, or just I've been kind of following what's been going on. Might even want to edit this out. I'm not sure. We'll see. But it seems like Vassar isn't focusing as much on, you know, the whole community as much anymore. I always felt like the people who worked at Vassar, the janitors, the maintenance staff. It seems like they were always treated with a great deal of respect. And it seems like some of that's been outsourced lately. There's more reliance upon adjunct professors. That not everyone is included in that kind of or circle of the Vassar community. It used to be very egalitarian. I think there's more of a like an us-them thing going on now that I've picked up on. It also seems like the humanities, there's been more emphasis on, say, economics lately, and maybe the humanities aren't getting as much attention as they should. But those are just a few thoughts I had.
Yeah.
What do I want to never change at Vassar? I know it's supposed to be rapid fire, but I have to think about that. I think
to run during the next week.
no. As far as what shouldn't change at Vassar, I would say that should be the way admissions are run, where it's need blind. I think need blind admissions is a good way to go. I know it's expensive and it can be a challenge to make it work, but I think that's a really good philosophy to uphold and to keep moving forward with.
Excellent.
Yeah.
I think you kind of answered this question already, but favorite race conditions, sunny and dry or cold and rainy?
What favorite race conditions?
Yeah, sunny and dry or cold and rainy?
Oh, cold and rainy. Absolutely.
Yep. Okay. So I know that you're on the track. You like the mid-distance stuff a little bit, but here we go. Would you rather do a 4x1, you got to get the baton across, or a marathon?
Yeah. Oh, that's a hard one. I've done both. Oh. I'd say 4x1 for old time's sake.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, Ron Stonif sandwich or $20 in your pocket?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
Sorry, Ron Stonif sandwich or $20 in your pocket?
Oh. A sandwich.
Yeah. Did he
All
make?
right. It challenged your frugality there for a second. I saw that.
Well, because he makes it with spicy stuff, and sometimes he puts meat on there.
Yeah.
And sometimes he slips the hot peppers in.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part,
It's
though.
got to be vegetarian, too.
Okay. It's 5 p.m. Regular or decaf?
Oh, yeah.
Decaf. Yeah. Okay.
I'm a tea drink, no, not a coffee.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Tea's good too. Okay. If you can pick one future activity that your children excelled at, what would it be and why?
Future activity?
Yeah.
Well, running, of course.
There we go. That's what we thought.
What kind of question is that?
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of an obvious one when we know you.
Yeah. Certainly.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to catch up with us, Tracy. You always have a big part in the legacy of Vassar Cross Country and Track, and it's your story, your legacy lives on here as we continue to build the program to new and bigger things. I think Justin's got something to share with you here too.
Yeah, Ron has always said great things about you, and he's kind of like a pack rat sometimes. And I found a little trinket note that you have wrote for him. I think it was your senior year. I'll read it. It says, "Dear Coach, our 4 seasons together have slipped by with very little notice into the realm of the unforgettable. Could it be that this is it? Simple thanks can never be enough. Love, Tracy." And he's kept that in his drawer the whole time. So definitely made a big impact here, and it continues today. So any last kind of bits you'd like to add or say?
Just that I wish I was closer and I could come cheer you on. It pains me. I feel it every season when it begins. There's some place I should be, and I can't be there. I can't be there cheering you on, and I wish I could be.
Well, we hope one of these years Nationals is out there, and we're getting a team or individual out there, and we can see you out there. That'd be fantastic.
That would be great. So I'm with you in spirit.
Yes. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for everything. You have a good day.
That's our official sign off.
Official sign off.